Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ballard Institute and Museum of Puppetry's Saturday afternoon presentation of String Theory Theater, which includes a production of Kitty's Corner and then a behind-the-scenes tour with members of String Theory Theater and a puppet workshop. So we're really happy that you're here as another installment of our online series on our Facebook page. String Theory Theater, we are really excited to present. It's a family troupe based in Baltimore, Maryland, consisting of Dirk Joseph and his daughters Koi and Azaria. They create and perform shows for families to enjoy together, as well as adult-themed productions. String Theory Theater is also involved in community arts, using puppetry as a healing and connective cultural technology in some of Baltimore's underserved communities. So we're really happy that that we're able to bring them here today. String Theory Theater, we've had an involvement with String Theory Theater for quite a long time. They performed and exhibited their work at the Ballard Institute as part of the 2019 Living Objects African American Puppetry Exhibition and Festival. In addition, a toy theater, especially created by the company, was included in our Army Ants and Their Guests exhibition last fall. Also, Dirk Joseph of String Theory Theater, he's a visual artist, quite amazing work, and his visual art can be seen at dirkjart.com. So we'll talk more with Dirk and his daughter Azaria after the show, but now it's our pleasure to present to you String Theory Theater and Kitty's Corner.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Kitty's Corner. We've got a great show for you. So let's give a great big welcome to the host of our show, Kitty.
Thanks, Puppy, and thank you for coming. Today on Kitty's Corner, we are going to interview some special guests who work very hard every evening to get you ready to go to sleep and dream. That's right, we're going to meet the bedtime crew. These are some of the folks who make getting ready for bed for all you little kids so special. Are you ready to meet them? Great, Puppy, set down our first guest. Wow, welcome to Kitty's Corner. Please tell us who you are and what you do.
We are the night sky. I am the moon, and we are the stars. When you see us, it is usually time for kids to get ready for bed.
Nice to meet you, Night Sky. So tell me, how do kids get ready for bed?
Let's see. Well, ideally, they would help tidy up first, put their toys away.
You never clean up.
Yes, I do.
You didn't clean up last time. Now you got asteroids and space dust and a planet orbiting around you.
That's because you were shining light in my eye and I couldn't see. Shh! Didn't I tell you to behave?
Yes, ma'am.
And after putting away toys and stuff, it's time to clean themselves up. You know, washing up, brushing teeth, then maybe a little story time, hugs and kisses, big lights go out, they get quiet, they might curl up with a cuddly toy. You know, different families do it their own way, but it's something like that.
Cool. Sounds like having a routine is really good.
I wish you didn't eject gases as part of your nightly routine.
What do you want me to do? Hold it in? Stars! Sorry, ma'am. Look, we have to get back up in the sky now. Got orbits to maintain, you know.
Sorry I have to leave so soon, but thanks for coming on the show. Let's hear it for the night sky, everyone. All right, Puppy, send out our next guest. Welcome to Kitty's Corner. Who are you and what do you do?
Oh, well, hello, Kitty. You see, I am a...
Don't tell me. Let me guess. You're a brush. You're kind of small, though.
Yeah, see, I'm a special kind of brush used for...
Wait, don't tell me. Let me guess. You brush the hairs of people who have really tiny, itsy-bitsy heads.
No, that's not it. You see, I brush the...
Wait, don't tell me. Let me guess. You brush mustaches and beards of pirates. Arr, mate!
No, that's not what I do. I am a...
Don't tell me!
What?
Don't tell me. I've got it. You're a brush for the fur on hamsters. Little, furry, tasty, cute hamsters.
No, I am a toothbrush
Huh?
for brushing teeth.
Teeth don't have any hair to brush.
What? Don't you know the food in the cavity is... No, oh, I'm done. Okay, I'm out of here.
Wait, where are you going? I wasn't finished with... Okay then, a little touchy and insecure if you ask me. Oh well, the show must go on. Puppy, send out our next guest. Puppy?
The next guest was a washcloth and towel, but they're not coming because it's laundry day.
Oh, okay. Let's just skip them and go to the next guest.
I'm on it. The next guest was pajamas, but...
Let me guess, it's laundry day.
Yep. I'll skip pajamas and send in the next guest.
Sounds good.
Sorry, but the next guest is using the bathroom.
What? Okay, I'll just wait then.
Hi, Kitty. How you doing?
Mom! Hi, Mom. I'm in the middle of a show right now. Can we talk later?
Oh, you're doing a show?
Yes, right now actually. So could we...
You're doing a show today?
Yes, Mom. Actually, we're having a little problem with our guest lineup, so let's talk later, please.
Why didn't you tell me you were doing the show? I could have helped.
Nope, I'm good.
I thought you said you were having some problems. You can't run a show by yourself. I'm coming there to help.
It's okay, Mom. Puppy's here helping me, and we're working it out.
So you got Puppy to help, but you didn't ask me, huh? Well, look, I have something very important to talk to you about.
Can it wait?
No, Kitty. Listen, I've been finding new scratches on the couch.
I haven't done that ever since you got the spray bottle, Mom.
Actually, you have been doing it.
It's not me. I learned my lesson.
It is you, Kitty. You do it whenever you fall asleep on the couch.
I do not sleep scratch.
You do sleep scratch. I have video to prove it.
Really? Where is this video?
It's on YouTube. Just search for funny sleep scratching cat. Kitty? Kitty, are you there?
You didn't really post videos of me sleep scratching on YouTube, did you?
I did. It just hit 1 million views, which has really opened up the door to all kinds of endorsement opportunities.
I don't believe this. I gotta go. Goodbye, Mom.
Okay, but we'll talk about this later. Bye, Kitty Pooh.
Hey, Kitty, the next guest is ready to go.
I gotta get myself together. Okay, send them on.
Hey there, sorry. I was in the bathroom.
Welcome to Kitty's Corner. Who are you and what do you do?
The name's TP. Now I am paper.
Nice to meet you, TP. How is your paper used?
Well, you know, you could use paper for all kinds of things. You can write on paper.
I guess journaling could be a nighttime activity, but... you don't really look like a writing pad.
Yeah, I know that. No, I can do lots of things, though. You know, you could use me to wipe up a spill or blow your nose if you don't have other tissue.
Okay, well, is there a main thing that you do?
Well, you know, I didn't ask to be this kind of paper. If I had my way, I'd be a paper airplane. I could be a whole fleet of paper airplanes. With this much paper,
Why don't you try?
I can't. I'm too soft and light, and besides, I don't even know how to fly.
Oh well, then I guess you shouldn't risk it. You should just stay doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, I guess I'll just keep on, No. You know, sometimes you just gotta take a risk. Yeah, Kitty, thank you. You know, the The clouds are gone, sky's clear, and I know what I must do.
Wait, I wasn't finished with the interview. Again. Is anything gonna go right today? Send in the next guest, puppy. Welcome to Kenny's Corner. So, who are you and what do you do?
Once upon a time, there was a storybook.
Is that what you are? Storybook?
The story was of a show put on by a cat and a dog.
Wait a minute, that sounds familiar. Where did you get this story? Because
People came to see the show, but some of the guests didn't show up, and there was an interruption by a very unsettling phone call. The kitty sometimes got confused.
I'm confused.
But at least there was an interesting guest or two, and the show made people laugh. But for the rest of Kitty's life, Kitty's mind would periodically return to this moment to ponder the question of whether the laughs were with Kitty or at Kitty. Somewhere in another part of the galaxy, there were some aliens that lived happily ever after. The end.
What the furball was that? Okay, so this is a complete total fail.
Sending out our last guest now.
Whatever, let's get it over with.
Hi, Kitty. I'm Snuggly Bear. Hugs and kisses for everyone.
Hi, Snuggly Bear. Welcome to Kitty's Corner. What do you do?
Well, some kids like something soft and cuddly to hold on to when they go to sleep. They can hug me.
That's good. Thanks for coming on the show.
Aw, don't be sad, be happy.
All I wanted to do was have the perfectest, most coolest show ever.
Well, just stay positive and I'm sure it'll all work out.
But it's not working out.
Oh, don't worry about that. Just do your best and I'm sure.
But it's all going wrong. Some guests didn't show up, and my mom called to tell me that 1 million people have seen me sleep scratching on YouTube. I'm not even sure what the storybook was getting at, but it didn't make me feel good. I tried so hard, it's just not fair. I think I want to go get stuck in a tree somewhere.
Listen, cat, I had enough of your whining.
What's happening? Your voice changed.
Yeah, well, this is my real voice. That other voice is for the kids. Look, cat, kitty, whatever your name is, nobody said life is fair. I mean, I have to talk in that god-awful squeaky voice whenever kids are around. Then at night, some of these small humans hold me in a vice grip, drooling on me and stuff, till the sun comes up. Yeah, right, it's disgusting. And I'll tell you something else. Maybe their breath is fresh after brushing their teeth at night, but by the morning, not so much. But I deal with it. Look, hugs and snuggles are in short supplies these days. So I'm taking one for the team. And do you know what the team is, Cat? The team is life. We're all in this together. We are all dreamers. This is you realizing your dream. So you had a few bumps in the road. So what? Now, hold it together and finish your show.
Wow, you're right.
Bet your furry tail I'm right. Oh, I mean...
No problem. Rainbows and butterflies.
Thanks, Bear. Thanks so much for coming on my show.
Oh, you're so very welcome. Hugs and snuggles. I love everyone. Goodbye, kitty.
Let's hear it for Snuggly Bear. I guess Snuggly Bear's right. The show didn't go that bad. Actually, I think it was pretty good, considering. But, you know, I couldn't have done it without my good friend Puppy. Hey, Puppy, come out, take a final bow, wow, meow with me.
I can't. I'm doing something with TP.
What? What are you doing with TP?
Almost finished. Okay, all right. One more, and there. We're done. This is the control tower. TP, you're cleared for launch.
Roger that.
Great show, buddy. Let's get out of here.
everyone.
Bye.
Yay. Thank you, String Theory Theater. Thank you, Dirk and Azaria. Thank you so much. Yay. Hooray. I think we have to unmute your microphone. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thanks and welcome. This is our first time we're seeing you, Dirk and Azaria. Was Azaria's sister Koi did she do the narration of Kitty, or was that Azaria?
That was all Azaria. Yep.
Wonderful. I really love that show, and I was so happy I like the ending where TP got to fly and realize his dreams of some sort. So
usually when we perform that in a theater, we this was a new creation for this show to do it live on a screen, because usually we have like a dozen airplanes that we just fling out into the audience from backstage. But I thought that worked pretty well.
Yeah, I think so. I think it worked great. I think it's wonderful. I wanted to mention that now we're going to go into our live visit with your studio, which I think is also your home in Baltimore. And we wanted to invite people watching to write in their questions on our Facebook chat line. And then at the appropriate moments, we can forward those questions or comments that you in the audience might have for Dirk and Azaria as we continue to see more about your work. So, yeah, are you going to take us on a tour? Oh, you're going to, maybe you're going to show us more about your show.
Yeah, I think this show, since it's up right here, I could show you a little bit. I love sharing how we make our puppet shows. I've been an art teacher for about 30 years. And so I love making it a teaching moment for anybody who might be interested in making puppets themselves. And so, the Kitty's Corner puppets, Puppy and Kitty, are made out of paper bags, which, that might have been obvious, I'm not sure, but we also painted them with acrylic paint. They're about over 3 years old. And so the acrylic on top of the paper bags, help to preserve them even though they're getting worn. And there's like a kind of a firm cardboard front and a firm cardboard face. So, paper bags are one of the pretty easy material to get your hands on. And a little later on, we're going to show how, you can make your own paper bags, puppets. But, so Puppy and Kitty were made out of paper bags. Snuggly Bear was made out of just a cardboard shape of the body. And we put some furry fabric over the front and some felt and googly eyes, and using like little strips of felt to give the head some movement so that it's, wobbly and so on. And I'm pretty sure you can figure out what TP was made out of. This is a branch from a tree that just painted black to try to make it fade into the background a bit. And yes, this is cardboard and some foam, some material that something must have been packed in for the book. And our stage, you can take these and put them down. Our stage is a big cardboard box. I'm going to pull it back a little bit so you can see, and turn off these lights. So it was just basically a big cardboard box that we strung some Christmas tree lights in, so we can make sure, regardless of where we're performing, the inside of the stage would be lit, because that's pretty important. There could be house lights, but all of this could throw a shadow on the actual puppets. So, and we made it so that it's portable. So cardboard is probably our favorite material to make our puppets and our puppet stages out of. And what else do we have here? Oh, I'm gonna bring another stage. So this is another cardboard stage that, again, like I had to design them so they can fold out. You're looking at the back of it right now. And it's made to be a living room or a bedroom. It's a living room in this particular setup. And we make little props out of like other, just pieces of cardboard, little boxes that might have a shape that's already what we need, or, we adjust it a little bit.
Cool.
And here's a couch, again, made out of cardboard. And a lot of this is like, we experiment, and a lot of the art, I would say a lot of art in general is in the tweaking of things to get them just right. You could even start with a bad idea sometimes and tweak it into something amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to share the puppets that we use in this. This setting is for a show that we have called Collab Story. And we made some marionette puppets. And this is Malik. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
That's my sister in the Fosse. And so this is for a show that we have several like stage changes in, and so other things drop in front, and they're like, several different.
You mean other backdrops come in?
Other backdrops. Yeah, you can. Okay. Well, actually, I'm going to leave it over there, and I'll show it to you. We're not going to drop it in front, but we have like layers that fall in front of it, because these two tell a story, and then you see the story that they're telling, basically.
Cool.
And these are sort of a version of a marionette. We have the hands strung up, but the feet are just kind of loose, and they give a lot of action. After a while, we figure out how to just sort of make them work and make them look like they're walking, and it's kind of kooky, and we like that, which kind of just frees us up to not have to necessarily move the legs in the kind of precise way, and it gives them a funny action to their movement.
I love that design for the puppets. It reminds me a little of these Czech rod marionettes, but
yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, I saw one and was inspired. I've tried a couple of different ways of doing marionettes, but I like having the head just loose enough so that if the body's touching the ground, the head might move on it, just enough movement on its own so it's not looking super stiff.
It's really nice movement with those puppets. I think they're really well designed.
Yeah,
there's a number of questions coming in to us. I don't know if this is a moment to address some of those questions, or if you I don't want to interrupt your presentation.
Fire away.
Okay, so there's some compliments. Great use of the camera to make the plane so huge at the end of Kitty's Corner. Also, Jamie Keithline says, nice design for the living room stage, which I also noticed too. And then there's some questions like Cecilia Ford says, where do you find the little paper bags for the puppets?
Oh, yeah. Supermarkets have them, usually in the paper, the aisle with paper plates and so on. Azaria just brought me, this is what the bag looks like for this particular one, but I think you can find them, all over the place, even some convenience stores. There's times when I was doing a workshop and forgot to bring enough bags and had to run out to just like a local corner store, and a lot of times I just find them anywhere. Yeah.
Another question was, how long does I feel like this comes up a lot. How long does it take you to write a new play?
Yeah, sometimes I'd be in a mood where it'll all just flow out. Sometimes I live with it for a really long time. And sometimes, there'll be several drafts. And so again, I really think there's a lot of the work is in the writing and rewriting of the story to sort of flush it out and You know, you'll write and script something different for a puppet show than you would the same story for like live action.
Okay.
Or, you know,
what's the difference?
The visual component has to be some kind of strong in a puppet show, and I don't know. There's a kind of timing that's in performance that, you know, you're appealing to a broad audience, and some people may be really taken by the narrative, while others are more taken by the visuals. And so, kind of keeping that balance and
right,
not letting it slow down too much and possibly lose, you know, someone's attention. I don't worry about that too much, but sometimes, especially for young children, I've had children just yell out, sitting in the front row, just yell out like, "This is boring." Then by the end of it, they're like jumping up and clapping because, you know, there was a moment that they felt like they needed to be entertained to a greater degree.
Right. To follow up on that question, which is from Kirsten Dieter Deckard, I was wondering, what's your collaboration with Azaria and Koi like? Are they helping you with the writing process?
Yeah. So I usually start the stories. I'll have like a skeleton of the story, and sometimes even flesh it out and think that it's pretty good. But then once I start rehearsing or getting feedback from them on the revisions and their parts that might just fall out all together. There's a show, one that we performed at the Ballard Museum Institute of Puppetry for the Living Objects. There were some parts, there was like a rap battle involved in it, and Koi like really wrote that part out. I had a version of it that I thought was really good, and I thought it was hitting pretty strongly, and I said, "You can tighten it up if you want to," and she sort of rewrote it, and if it was a rap battle, she would have beat me, she would have trashed me.
Oh, great.
So.
Roxy Myram says, "Hi, Dirk. Are there any artists or puppeteers whose styles were inspirations for you?"
Yeah, well, before I had String Theory Theater, before I formed that in 2016, I performed a few times with another artist, Pierre Benu, who's based here in Baltimore. And I tend to be very tight with my designs, like visually, everything is sort of super symmetrical and on a grid design. And he's always very, you know, not always, but he can be very like loose and like kind of drive off road in a very cool way. That is inspiring to me. So like learning to not make everything super realistic and exaggerate certain parts and just play around that way. So we had a group together that we performed a few times together called the Drift Maniacs.
Right. Yeah. Will there be more work from the Drift Maniacs? I think I first heard about that from Valeska Popolo from Maryland Institute College of Art, and I think I saw, no, I haven't seen work from Drift Maniacs, but it sounds really exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope so. You know, we right now, you know, collaborations have to be done very creatively, but you know, yeah, that I would like to do that again with him.
And I'm the Baltimore puppet scene is so vibrant and exciting. It's that you were mentioning Pierre Benu, and I don't know, that I'm just fascinated by the incredible amount of creativity and that's coming from, or that's part of the Baltimore puppet community right now. There's another question from Cecilia Ford. How do you make the, I think she might mean Maisonite. How do you make the Maisonette heads?
Oh, marionette.
Oh, marionette. There you go. I'm sure you're right. Marionette head.
Well, this was the first one that I made, and the whole head is just it was a flat piece of cardboard that I rolled in a tube, but then kind of cut a thin triangular piece out of it. So when I re-rolled it, it was more of like a cone. And, you know, cut a piece to stick on the top. These are just little pieces of cardboard. I've made one that I'll show you a little later. that I started with this same process, but then I use paper pulp. I'll pulverize paper in like a blender.
In a blender?
Yeah, just a regular tabletop blender. And I'll make a clay out of it. You don't even need any binding agent. It's pretty strong. Like paper fiber will bind to itself if you squeeze it together. But you can mix in some Elmer's glue or something to make it stronger. And then I'll use the pulp to shape around like some features, so it's a little smoother in the way that the features are on the face. Even if like this, you can still see the exact shape that I cut out to put for the mouth and for the lips and so on. And there's another one. Actually, sorry, could you bring Mr. Biko over?
What kind of paper do you put in the blender?
I've experimented with just about every kind. Like I do paper casting, which is making paper pulp.
Okay.
And sculpting like shallow relief sculptures out of. So egg cartons are probably the best thing because they're already reconstituted paper fiber.
Right.
They break down to like a really nice smooth consistency with just some water. And then they can be, you can squeeze out some water or put it on a screen is the way I do it. I'll put two screens together and squeeze it out, make a patty, and then I'll have like a material that I can shape. I can make impressions into it. So this is one that I made the same way, but you can see that with the added pulp, I was able to still stick on cardboard pieces to make the shape and then add the pulp to just push it in and smoothing it out. Yeah.
Right. It's fascinating to me. You said you don't necessarily include glue in the paper mash there.
Right, yeah.
Mark Siegel is asking about your joints. What are the puppet joints made of? Maybe
I went really low tech, and they're just this is a small dowel, the forearm and the upper arm, and there's just a little piece of fabric that is glued to both of them. Okay. So it's painted orange up there and it's painted brown down there, but you can see the blue right in the middle. That's actually the color of the fabric in the hint right there too. Right. I just left it on the shoulders. Did the same thing for this guy's legs. It's kind of weird because it looks like his knees just disappeared. Right. It's cut open, but it's a joint in the back there with some just a strip of fabric going straight down. I'll glue it and paint it on both sides, but be very careful to not glue the very middle, so that's where it can bend and have some fluid movement.
Are the hands in that puppet, are they cardboard, or are they out of sculpted paper mash?
Yeah, this is foam core.
Foam core.
And so I just painted it and bent it so that it has that kind of concave look.
Right. I know you wanted to give us a tour of your studio, and we sort of covered the questions that came in so far. So people watching could continue to contribute their comments or questions.
Okay, sure. So I should say that we just moved here a few months ago, right before the pandemic occurred. And I didn't laugh like that's funny, but there's maybe a historical laughter. So my plan was really to do some like workshops here in this space. And I haven't really set up a puppet theater just yet. I'm just sort of turning it, I'm realizing that I'm going to be using it for filming, and I'm probably gonna not, think about workshops for a while, or there'll be filmed workshops. But so I just have a few things that are sort of scattered around that I'll just point out really quick. Yeah. So we have, these big pieces up here were heads for like some 10-foot puppets that were part of a festival. And there are two more on that side there. And they were like the 4 elements. Oh. So the name of the festival, it was for Artscape here in Baltimore, which is a large festival, and my performance was called Elemental Procession. And so we had air, earth, fire, and water, and these are the heads of the 10-foot puppets, and then each one had like a small entourage of other puppets that related to their element. So for example, for water, there's a mermaid.
Nice.
here. And we have a cranky box here. You know,
Right.
crankies are another kind of puppetry. I think here's a small version of a cranky box.
Great.
Oop, that extension is not going to make it. All right, I'll get that on the ground. And so, yeah, if anybody that's not familiar with the cranky, it's just sort of like a light-based, or it could be light. It doesn't necessarily have to be light, but there's usually there's always a image on a spool that is manipulated by, turning
Nice.
these
Beautiful.
spools, and that's what it looks like in the back.
What's the name of that? Oh, I love that design of the cranky box with the little shelf. That's really cool.
Yeah, I wanted to give it two options for like a larger or smaller window. So there's like a large window, but then this insert can come out, and then it can be a much larger space.
What's the name of that show?
That one's called Feel, and this one's actually on YouTube. We have a String Theory Theater YouTube page, and I did it here. I really liked it, and I decided to make another one because this one is so small that it's so small that it's not really great for like a large theater. So I redid it, the same piece on this larger one. And both of these crankies were made from dresser drawers. So this one is the dresser drawer, and I just cut a hole there. These designs are actually part of the dresser drawer, so that's where the track would be.
Oh, I was thinking about that. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
A question came in. You just mentioned your String Theory Theater YouTube page, but Cecilia Ford asks, do you have other videos we could find? Maybe.
Yeah, right now on YouTube, there are a few. There's Feel, and there's Itsy, which is a story of the Itsy Bitsy Spider. It has a kind of existential experience to get out of that dead end loop of that song. And I think it's those two. And then there's also the performance, the toy theater performance that was done for Ballard, for University of Connecticut. Yeah.
For the Ant-U exhibition. That was wonderful. Great.
So this piece here, this is one of the other stages that would fall in front of the one that the sister and brother were performing in their room. And so there's some very flat puppets here that just work on that stage. And this is another part of the same story. It's a pretty elaborate story. So it starts in the bedroom and it goes into many different dimensions.
What's the puppet with the one just to the left of that with the eye and the wings?
This one?
Yeah.
This is part of that story too.
Wow.
So I filmed that one, and then I'm working on editing it so that I can put it up. And we sometimes perform with masks, especially when we do the Feel, because there's sort of a bird theme there.
Yeah. I love those masks. They're really great.
Oh, Azaria brought this out from her bedroom. This was a puppet that we used in the elemental procession in the street. So this was, Earth was one of the Earth characters, and
beautiful,
made to move and swing a bit.
I've been feeding you questions, and I know you wanted to do a workshop kind of session with us. So I don't want to hold us back from that. If you want to, whatever you want to do.
Sure, we can get into that.
What's this we're looking at?
So yeah, I'll show you this. Zara, could you turn on the light? Actually, no, it's good. It's pretty good with just the regular. Sure. Yeah, I can see it on the screen. So yeah, this is an Anansi story, and it's all pretty flat puppets. So I wanted to show this because these are very easy to make. It's very visual because they're a lot of times put into painting them. But they're just rods and flat pieces that can be manipulated. And it looks really good for film too, because you can create some layers of depth just by having some things farther away. So as something moves into the frame right in front of you, it really has like a nice impression.
Yeah, great.
So I wanted to show this just because it's very simple. These just flat pieces.
Would you want to explain who Anansi is? If maybe some people don't know who Anansi is.
Oh, sure. Well, this is the character Anansi, and Anansi is a character from a lot of West African folktales and mythology, and is usually in the form of a spider, and usually has something to do with sort of a trickster, like a trickster deity in a way, but also is associated with stories. And Anansi weaves a web, or spiders weave a web, and there's a sort of sense that everything is connected, and everything, and all of our stories are connected. And
Right.
so in this particular version of it, and there are many versions, like in some, Anansi is just sort of a real bad guy, trickster type of person. But there are others where Anansi is very wise, or Anansi is very interested in, and kind of this connection between the kind of like the sacred world and the physical, or the mundane, or the secular, or whatever, and kind of showing how they're both a part of each other, or something like that.
I don't want to keep us from the workshop part of this visit with you guys.
Oh yeah, we should start that. Okay, we're gonna do a real kind of quick and dirty demonstration. So two of the really popular and easy puppets to make are, and I should just say, like, puppetry is it's object performance. So, everybody's done it as a child. You pick up something, you play with it, you pretend it's something. Like, you pick up this button and with some imagination, pretend it's like, I don't know, the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars, and have it fly around and make sound effects and be all in my mind about what it is. We make some lifelike looking things, I guess, to add some bling to it. But you can, children play with anything and pretend that they're anything, and it's a great, imagination skill that we all, I think, should exercise. And so, but two of the kind of puppetry formats that are pretty easy and to make and very effective and versatile are sock puppets, like Azaria just held this one up, and paper bag puppets. And so Azaria just made this just a little while ago. You want to talk about it?
Nice.
Well, I made a unicorn puppet, and I kind of just did it very quickly. I used, like 3 sheets of paper, one for the body, let's see, one for the mouth and the hooves, which are black, and one for the details, like the stomach. I don't really know
Okay.
what to say. Yeah.
Yeah. So paper bag puppets, we started talking about it a little while ago, are very simple. It's already in the shape of like a head and a body. And so you can start with this very basic shape, and right away you can articulate it and get a sense of how this can be like a character. One of the issues with paper bags is that usually the mouth hinge, if you do it a lot, will kind of start to wrinkle up there, and it'll just kind of turn into a bit of a mess, not opening and closing cleanly. So really the first thing that we always do, or one thing that's really important, is to stick another piece of paper in there, fold it, crease it, and glue it in there. And so that way it just makes it open and close very, it's only gonna fold here. It's not gonna start finding some other place to fold in and make the jaw all messy. And so you can also, add colored paper, like the way Azaria made this unicorn here that has arms. And, you know, from the back, they don't, and the sides, they don't look like much unless you put some effort into, you know, doing that. And here's one that I made that doesn't have any paper, anything else stuck to it. It's just, I just used a marker. Hey, how you doing, everybody? I guess my mouth is gonna get all broken up because this guy over here didn't stick the hinge thing in there like he said was good. So I guess I'll just talk while I can. And let's see, what do I want to talk? Nope, that's enough. Thank you. All right, so you can, you know, this could be done with crayons and markers and just color it in. You can see what I did with the mouth there. You know, it's interesting for the mouth to really reveal something different so that when the face closes, it just, you know, it looks a little different. Let's see, we also, so for Kitty, I used some felt for the arms because I really wanted to kind of have a movement and expressive kind of thing happening. Whereas with Puppy, because his, you know, he just has like two hands that are made out of cardboard. They don't even bounce much. But, you know, he didn't need to carry anything, so I didn't worry about that. So sometimes they're definitely created for the script. I don't know if we'll have time to go through showing you how to make one step by step, which, you know, but
I think if you have the time, I think it's okay for us to take that time.
okay, all right.
It's Saturday afternoon during the pandemic. So.
All right, right. Where are we gonna go? So Azaria is working on a sock puppet right now. Did you put a hinge in there yet? Okay, good. So yeah, so for sock puppets, I'm gonna show this one first too, and then see how long that takes, and then maybe decide to actually make one. You know, you can just kind of stick your hand in there and make a mouth, and that's could be good enough. You know, if you know if that's what you want. Say, I'm gonna show you what we did with this one. We did a workshop, a performance workshop a while back at the Detroit Institute of Art. And because it wasn't a puppet making, it was a performance workshop, we had to actually make a bunch of puppets and we brought them in. And so this is like one of the sock puppets for people to practice performing in. And what we did with all of them is created on the inside the same kind of hinge that I said that we should make for the paper bag puppets. It's just a flat piece of cardboard that I folded and I hot glued it to the inside and turned it back right side out. And so now it has a very defined mouth and and then, you know, put some felt on the inside and decorated, you know, it this way. So we, for that performance workshop, we made like a variety of, you know, we made like, I don't know, 30 puppets and each one of them needed to be different. So this is another sock puppet. This one, the eyes popped off. This is like a, you know, cat one with little whiskers. So we used a lot of felt. This is a spray can top. I like this one. We use googly eyes on him. Just looks like he has a very interesting personality. I don't know.
Nice socks too.
Yeah, I got a deal on a bunch of these from a store that was closing, so that was great. This is another hand puppet that was made from an old shirt. And I used some, I don't know, I don't know if it's cotton, but some kind of, you know, fluffy white material. And hey, how you doing, everybody? Nice to meet you. I've been sitting in that bag for a long time. Man, I only get out every once in a while. Yep, time to go back. No. Okay, you can stay out. Cool. So I can demonstrate how to make a paper bag puppet really quickly, or do you think maybe a sock puppet? We have the materials for both.
I think whatever you want to do. It's interesting to watch what Azaria's. You're both, yeah.
Okay, well, since she's working on a sock puppet, I'm gonna work on a paper bag puppet. This is another very weird one that we created that day.
Wow.
I have no idea what we were thinking about, but you know, when you have a lot to do, it's nice to just kind of relax off of everything trying to make sense too much.
Yeah, you sort of let things happen that want to happen.
Right. All right, so so some of the materials that we have here that we're working with are you know, a hot glue gun, and to stick things together, you can use a hot glue gun. You can use also Elmer's glue. For the paper, you can use you know, the paper glue sticks. We're using a hot glue gun just because, you know, we want to make sure it sticks together fast and not have to put it to the side and wait since we're demonstrating. But we also have buttons. It's just a collection of random buttons. And what are these called?
I have no idea.
Little sparkly things. I have a lot of leftover materials from workshops, but I really love, you know, using cardboard, like I mentioned before. And I'll make a quick, fast paper bag puppet. I don't know, does anybody have a request of something to make?
Yeah, people could write their proposals very quickly and we'll get a response, I would imagine.
All right, well, maybe whoever types in something first.
Okay, we're waiting. There's a 20-second lag from where we are to the Facebook feed. So, one question is, what if students at home don't have hot glue? Will another glue work?
Yeah, Elmer's glue will work. Yeah. And there are some YouTube videos about making your own glue. And I can't remember exactly what, but there's some, I think there's flour in a way to, I think you use flour to make your own clay. Like there's a salt dough where it's like mostly just flour, water, and a lot of salt. That's one way. Someone said dragon. Okay, going for a dragon.
Yeah, you also got panda and horse. So I think you can take your pick, but dragon's exciting.
Oh, okay.
That was from John.
Panda did come in first.
I can pause on this and make a panda.
Okay, Azaria likes pandas and dragons, so I don't know how you just hit both of her favorite, two of her favorite.
I just want to say, like, one of the requests is John Ludwig from Center of Puppetry Arts in Atlanta. Stephen Kaplan from Brooklyn asked for a horse, and Sofia Padilla from Mexico City requested a leopard puppet.
Oh.
But you can, it's interesting that we're getting such interesting respondents, viewers from around the world.
Well, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. I don't think I really addressed everybody who's there that tuned in. Thank you so much. And we really appreciate your enthusiasm.
There's a lot of good proposals, but maybe people can, you know, thinking of this workshop, maybe people can make their own versions of the Phoenix or the. Great.
Yeah, I am gonna continue with some workshops, like some online workshops and challenges for people to make some art. So on my website, it's Dirk, DIRKJART, Dirk J Art, Dirk Joseph artwork. So
people could go to that website and connect to the workshops you're doing.
Yeah, so on that website, or you know, stringtheorytheater.com is our theater. Okay. And so whatever I offer on one in terms of workshops, I'll probably put on both.
And maybe you could share
I
those.
should show you what I'm doing here.
Very good.
So I decided to make a green dragon. Even though this looks like green Batman or something right now. So a very important part with the paper bag puppets is the mouth. You know, I explained the mouth already, but I'm gonna make sure to measure and cut. I'm gonna eyeball it because I can see from the back right where the mouth starts, right back here, where that hinge of the mouth is. So I'm gonna cut this part actually right off. And eyeball, you know, I could probably use a right angle, something to make sure it's neat. So right now I have something like this, and the mouth will open like
Cool.
that. Right. And I'm going to do something that would apply for a dragon, but also for a horse, since some people mentioned that, which is to make like a snout that will come out of the face so it won't be flat. And I was going to just cut it, but I think I'll draw it so you can see why I'm cutting it the way I am. Thank you, Azaria. I'll give you the good scissor. All right, so the snout is going to be just sort of a not a cone, but a, sure there's a name for this polygon I'm thinking about. I can make it though.
Great.
Shape something like this. And I like to know the shapes. It's great to infuse math into these things.
Is that a trapezoid?
Yeah, I thought, yeah, yep. Here you go. Yeah, it's a trapezoid. I don't know what a 3D trapezoid would be.
Right.
So I want to affix this to the front.
Oh, great.
Like that. And in order to do that, I'm going to cut the end of it here so that now there's a piece that I'm going to hold it up so you can see it closer. So now I'm going to create a flat area in the back so that now there'll be something to actually stick on. And
Nice.
that over there, fold that. I don't know, hopefully I'm not going too fast. I can open it back up so you can see, but I'm gonna put the glue here so it'll stick on the face this way. But I don't want the front of the nose to be so in that shape. I'm gonna change it a bit. And actually, I think I want the snout to stick up, the nostril part.
This session is going to be on our Facebook, YouTube page. So if people want, and on our Facebook page. So if people want to go back and take a look at this again, they can do so.
So now I've got something like that. What are you working on over there, Zara?
The panda.
All right, so moving a little fast, maybe, I don't know, or I hope I'm holding it in the way you can see it. But there is like the snout that is going to stick on like something like that. You can reach over it. Thank you. You need to do this with the cord. And you know, we're like I mentioned, regular Elmer's glue will totally work with this. You put the glue on, you squeeze it and hold it for a little while, or put it to the side. But because you know I don't want to pause, I'm just gonna use the hot glue.
Plug it into the longer extension cord so I can reach better.
That's good for me. You can do that if you want.
No, it works. I was just wondering.
Nice. I like the way it's making it more three-dimensional.
Yeah. And with glue, it's really important to get the edges. You know, you can put a whole lot in the middle, but if you don't get the edges, then the paper peels away at the edge, not from the middle. So I could do another one for the bottom, and so that the two parts of the jaw would meet. I'm gonna leave that alone for a moment because I want to just get the rest of the, some other key parts of it. What color wings? Orange wings on a green dragon?
That's what the first dragon that you made looked like.
Really?
No, like years and years ago. The first dragon that you made, it was a green dragon with orange wings, and mine was a red dragon with like blue wings. I think that doesn't look like a panda.
All right, so I'm gonna make some wings, and I'm gonna kind of freestyle the cut of these dragon wings. I think I know what I'm going for.
You have things so you could like mark it.
Yeah, I know, I should be doing that.
It doesn't look like a panda. Okay, maybe I need to make a nose and stuff.
Oh, so I should say what I just did. I folded this piece of paper because I want both wings to look the exact same. So I'm cutting two pieces out at the same time. They're two sheets, but
Great.
I really should have drawn this because now I really don't know what.
It's nice to see you freestyling with it too.
Okay, does that look right? No, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna round it off some. Yeah, there you go. That made a big difference. And so sticking two pieces on like that. And the great thing about wings is that a little bit of motion, you get this kind of thing happening.
Great.
Like flapping. So
There we go. That looks like a panda.
all
Finally.
right.
Okay. Just want to attach the ears on.
This is very dangerous what we're doing right now. Reaching over each other for the hot glue gun. But we'll just be mindful of not burn each other.
More than one.
We do have more than one.
John Ludwig said you're winging it.
Oh, I should show you what I'm doing there. So these are going in the back. Because with the paper bag puppet, it folds flat. I just did what I always warn people not to do, which is to glue it shut. So that's like pop it open. So yeah, the wings are in the back, and here's my dragon flying. There are things that you could do, like rolling the edge of the paper to firm it up so it doesn't flap.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's good enough right there. The color eyes.
Yellow.
I'm gonna take some of your black scrap. Yellow eyes. Okay.
Yeah, that kind of looks like a panda, I think. I
Yeah,
hope so.
you're getting there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe I need
I
to
would
round
certainly,
off
I would guess panda
the head.
above anything else. All right, so I just cut this, which looks like a perfect mustache for my dragon, but that's not what it was intended for. It's gonna be some eyebrows to put. Not that dragons have to be mean or bad, but it's certainly intense.
Great.
Pandas have black
goose egg.
bottoms.
Trudy Cohen says it's a great panda.
Thank you.
Elise Rowan says we love the panda, thanks.
I'm glad you like it.
So Azaria has become, in the last couple of months, and no, I mean, you've been for a while, been working at visual art, like digital art. And so she's been posting almost every couple of days, like the most amazing visual art. You want to mention your Instagram page?
So currently I am doing I wouldn't say like a competition, but like a month theme thing. And so for every other day, I have a different prompt. And for each of those prompts, I draw a mermaid.
Cool.
There's like elemental and what kind of themes?
The first theme was fruit. So I made some mermaids that had like the colors of fruit. What was the second one? I don't remember the second one, but the most recent one was gem. So I made a mermaid who was wearing like a crown that had a bunch of gems on it. And let's see. Do you remember the other ones? Because I don't.
Where can we see this, Azaria? On did you say on your Instagram page?
Yes. Darn it! Why did I forget? I forgot my name.
Rose the Moon Dragon.
Hold on. Oh my god.
Okay, so
How did I forget?
my dragon is turning into some kind of a devil thing.
Oh yeah, it has attitude now.
Not what I intended. So I'm gonna see how I can.
It's interesting to see how that develops. Sarah Olmsted Thomas says, I love you, String Theory Theater. I've been a fan for years.
Hey, Sarah.
Thank you. Let's see.
And then Emily, my colleague, I'm sorry, my colleague Emily Wicks from Ballard Institute says, is this Azaria? Rose the Moon Dragon.
Yes,
One word.
that's me.
Rose the Moon Dragon. So maybe she's going to post that on the Facebook chat. I don't know.
Awesome.
Yes, it is Rose the Moon Dragon is the answer to Emily's question. Oh yeah, Emily just posted your Instagram address on the Facebook.
Thank you.
And Azaria, are you going to? Where are you in? Excuse me for asking. Where are you in your schooling? I thought when you visited us in Connecticut, you were at the end of your high school work.
No, I think that was my older sister.
Oh, sorry.
Going into 8th grade this year.
8th grade. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
What is Sequoia's Instagram?
Koi Doodles.
Right. So Koi's Instagram is Koi Doodles. She has been as of February. That was February marked her first year living on her own, and so we haven't really been seeing her because she's been sequestered in social distancing.
In Baltimore or some other city?
Yeah, in Baltimore.
I'm sorry, and I apologize, Azaria, for confusing you with your sister. But Sequoia has her own work on display.
Right. Yeah. So she's doing really well as just a visual, digital artist as well. So I'm really proud of how she's really savvy business-wise. She's much more organized than I have ever been. And Koi Doodles, Koi, like the fish, and Doodles is her Instagram handle.
Okay.
I didn't say anything, but I just started making flames for the dragon. I don't know how this would be used exactly. I have in the past had something, I think, where like the mouth, once the mouth opened, something would fall out, but it's kind of like you can only do it once and then it'll fall out. Like if you close the mouth, it'll just be hanging out again.
Great.
So, and I tend to save all these little scraps and throw them in a bin. Like right now, that wasn't organized really the way it would be if I'd been doing this sort of thing a lot. So I'm pretty sure I have a bag of scraps somewhere.
Oh,
of different materials. I don't know if I like that it's making it look more and more evil, which was not my intention for the dragon initially.
It's interesting that it has developed in that way.
Well, maybe, dragons in mythology often I'm trying to see if I can change the shape of its head a little bit so this doesn't look demonic. it's too late. I laid the foundation.
It's interesting how that happens. It's like the materials started to define the nature, the character of your dragon.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing that happens in puppetry where something, and even in writing, where a character will just assert itself in a way, and you have the choice to like let it keep doing what it's doing or wrangle it back into some predetermined whatever that you thought of the narrative that you
Right.
But I like writing in a way where I define the characters, I define a situation, and sometimes just as I start to write, I'm sure a lot of writers experience this, where the story just starts telling itself, and you've clarified their personalities enough so that almost a part of your own psyche can kind of break off and just say, just animate that person on their own, and you get to know them well, even though they may not be what might be considered your own personality. So I've heard it said like there's a dark side to puppetry, particularly ventriloquism.
Oh, interesting.
Where you are letting a part of your mind talk, and suddenly it's going on
Right.
without you fueling it intentionally.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that could be like a source of personal epiphanies if you let it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Azaria. Nice. Azaria, could you show you? It seemed like you had a pink mouth inside for the panda. That was a big contrast, it seemed. Oh, nice. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's a good point. You mentioned contrast, which is when the mouth opens and closes, especially if you're performing or people are looking at it from a distance. Just like in the way theater makeup sometimes tends to be way over the top, it's because people who are sitting 100 feet away need to be able to see whatever you think is important about that character. And so, making sure that there's some contrast is an important aspect to it. All right, so I just made an arm, and I certainly could have kept the two sheets of paper together so that as I cut one, I would have been making two of them, but I didn't do that this time. And this arm is way too long for the dragon, or maybe not, I don't know, but I think I'm going to make the arm sort of the way it was for the puppy.
Oh, okay.
Where the arm is coming out at you. So there's another, maybe even give it an elbow and a wrist.
Great. Oh, that's really nice. John Ludwig says, great panda and dragon from Atlanta.
Let's see.
Yeah, the snout of the dragon is really kind of bothering me, but I'm gonna I guess finish what I started and maybe go back to it.
Maybe. I think
you could. You mean like you could change it if you wanted to?
I could, yeah. So there are parts that I can tear this, and it would probably show the torn, or at least stress paper behind it. And as long as I was putting something back there, then it would probably be okay. This dragon is just getting spookier. Like the arm is like. They have small arms. Like
dragons?
No, you're right.
T-Rexes?
Yeah, I was thinking of T-Rexes.
I think I might be done with the panda. I can't think.
Yeah,
I might
and
like
the bamboo.
just trim off. I
That's
thought that
great.
you can like trim the paper bag a little bit. If you don't go crazy with it, you can trim it off a bit.
Right. So in teaching paper bag puppets, there are a few things that would happen that could be fatal to a puppet that someone might not realize they're doing while they're working on it. So say your head is too big and you want to trim off either the lip or the chin or something like that. if you cut the paper bag actually, then you've compromised it enough so that it'll just open up, the head will open up on the side, your fingers will stick out, or
Right.
something weird might happen. So cutting the shape of the head before you stick it on is a good thing to do, instead of sticking it on and then trying to cut it much.
Cecilia Ford says, "Great panda!"
Thank you.
Exclamation points. That's good.
Thank you.
I don't know what your day is like. We're sort of, oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm going to stick this one. Were you just thinking about the time?
A little bit, but I think I was saying it's Saturday afternoon during the pandemic, so maybe we're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine, at least finishing this and taking any questions that anybody has.
Yeah, if people watching have questions, I hope they'll feel free to write them in. Right now, we're getting a lot of accolades. Here's one from Elise Rowan. For the cranky, did you use paper cut silhouettes?
No. So that is something that some people do. And there's an amazing cranky artist in Baltimore, Catherine Fahey, who I referred to as the grand matriarch of crankies in Baltimore. And this has inspired a lot of people to make crankies, including myself. She does paper cuts, and I think she was a paper cut artist first. I'm very comfortable illustrating and painting directly on, which has some issues because paint takes a while to dry. Even after it's dry to the touch, it can still take a long time to completely dry out. And if you roll it back up before that process is complete, which could be days or even weeks before markers or paint will dry or oxidize to the point where it's not going to transfer. So if you roll it back up, you can end up having double images. And there's some like ink, there's some like Chinese ink and India ink that some people use too, because it's very fluid. You can paint it on it really nicely. But I've used a combination of acrylic and some India ink and Sharpie markers, and with pretty good success. And I have had some inks transfer over, but almost always I can tell it was because I just rolled it up quickly because I was making it the night before a performance, and I just let it dry overnight and then had to roll it into a spool.
So how are we with the dragon in the pen? Wow.
So I did put the fire on the inside there. Yeah, that nose and snout I would definitely give some more attention to.
One of the comments says, "Don't let the dragon get the panda."
I wasn't even thinking about it. Thanks. Well, yeah. How you doing? Got some more of that bamboo. That looks tasty.
I'm just gonna go over here.
Okay, man.
Great.
This is what I like.
Oh, I like that too.
Beautiful. Well, do you have any closing thoughts, Dirk and Azaria, for our audience, our warm and responsive audience?
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in for sure. And I really, puppetry, I know puppeteers already know this, and but it's such an amazing and great art form and combines so many disciplines. And if you're thinking, if you have young people that are stuck inside, or you yourself, there's so many ways. We showed you some of the ways, and there's so many other ways you can make puppets and tell stories. And I think this is a good time for storytelling, and it's definitely a good time to empower young people to know that their voices and their stories are really important. And this whole situation with the pandemic has really disrupted life so profoundly. And I know a lot of people are waiting for things to get back to normal, but there's a lot of things that become normal that don't really need to come back, in terms of just life, the way we're living, the way we're treating each other and the planet. And we live through stories, and that's what excites me about puppetry. We live through the stories in our minds. So you bring out new stories, new ways of seeing, new ways of relating to each other, to nature, to yourself, even to your own multi-dimensional facets of your mind and your consciousness, and letting those parts come up and interact with each other through the stage of theater. It's powerful, and it's healing. And we're all so much more alike than different, that whatever story you have, I'm pretty sure there's somebody that will relate. And whatever resolutions and struggles you've had, and figuring out how to tell it, how to share it, it's part of our communal healing that we need. So, Azaria, anything you want to share?
I just want to say thank you for coming. This was a lot of fun to do, and I hope you can do something more like it again.
Yeah, this is our first streaming anything, so we're looking forward to. We learned a lot, and we are very thankful to John, Emily, everybody at the Ballard Institute for supporting this, so that we can do more of it.
Yeah. I'm jumping back in here to thank both of you, especially Dirk, for your profound words about puppetry and this moment. It's since we started collaborating with you, if you like, with the different contributions you've made to the Ballard Institute, it's been a big pleasure to work with you and with Sequoia and Azaria. And I think we would love to share information, about your upcoming work as it develops. And I look forward to more collaborations with you. Of course, the event today is the result of the live performance that we had hoped you and Azaria would do, not being able to happen in our theater and store. So I'm glad we were able to do this. So I wanted to mention that we're just some other things that are happening. First of all, if people would like to make donations to the Ballard Institute, I think my colleague Emily, who's producing this event out of sight, has posted a link to that. I think there's a link for people want to make donations or contributions to String Theory Theater, which I think we're going to post if I'm not wrong. And I also wanted to say that we're doing a number of online events, including Wednesday and Friday 2 p.m. workshops. This coming week, Elise Finesse will do a coffee filter dancer workshop on Wednesday and a make a milk jug head workshop on Friday. We're co-hosting a Shadowlight Productions talk about their production Balinese Tempest, a live question and answer session. That's tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can watch the Shadowlight production of Balinese Tempest at their website. I just wanted to mention that. And I'm hoping to do some online puppet forums on Thursday afternoons at 4 o'clock in the coming weeks with puppeteers and puppet scholars, just to let you know of the Ballard Institute things that are coming. I'm super happy that you guys shared with us your performance of Kitty's Corner and the tour of your studio and this wonderful workshop. And it's very inspiring. And yay, Baltimore Puppetry, hooray, String Theory Theater. And thank you so much. So I guess we'll say goodbye.
All right. Goodbye.
All right.
Thank you.
Everybody make art, tell stories.
Thank you for coming.